Today, I'm reviewing the Giant Dipper, the classic wooden coaster at Belmont Park in San Diego. One thing to know about me is that I love a good classic wooden coaster. A good chunk of that reason is probably because I have a high tolerance to rough rides. So it pains me to say this about such a historical ride, but it needs to be said. The Giant Dipper simply is not good. The Giant Dipper is Belmont Park. Built in 1925, this Prior and Church wooden coaster is just a stone's throw away from the Pacific Ocean. The coaster almost met its demise in 1978 and sat idle for almost a decade before being restored and reopened in 1990. The strongest aspect of Giant Dipper is its appearance. I just love how this coaster looks. I'm a sucker for white wooden coasters. Much to my surprise, the Giant Dipper no longer sports its iconic Pepto-Bismol pink and green paint scheme. Instead, the boards have a crimson-red color to them now. And when the sun sets, the coaster is extra magical with the chaser lights adorned along the handrails. There's just something great about walking along the beach and seeing this coaster there. Moving on to the ride, the Giant Dipper runs a Morgan train. I actually really like the streamlined look of the Morgan trains, but they don't have the best padding. And that's an issue when you're talking about a 95-year-old coaster that rides like a 95-year-old coaster. Giant Dipper begins with a dark tunnel hidden in the structure of the coaster, and that leads into the lift hill. And I love the sound of the anti-rollbacks in this coaster. Just take a listen. The Giant Dipper is essentially a double out and back coaster, but along the way it has a surprising amount of banked turns, and that starts with the twisting first drop. The drop itself is enjoyable, but the pullout is horrifically rough. This is by far the roughest part of the ride. Now, this isn't the only valley in the ride that will rough you up, but it's the spot that stood out the most. Despite all of Giant Dipper's hills, this coaster has almost no airtime. The only spots of airtime are this steep plunge before the second turnaround and when you enter the brake run. And the airtime isn't even that good, it's just a weak pop. Every hill seems to be about 10 to 15 feet too tall, so a hill that should deliver airtime does nothing. In fact, it feels like you're in a valley in the second half of the ride. But maybe the lack of speed is a good thing considering this coaster doesn't track very well. One positive about the coaster though is that the turnarounds do have some nice laterals. However, as a whole, I prefer airtime. So what do I rank the Giant Dipper? I'd give it a 3 out of 10. Those points are entirely for the coaster's historical value and appearance. But from a ride perspective, it's a rough wooden coaster with almost no airtime. And I tried it in multiple seats. Front, back, middle, it didn't make a difference. Giant Dipper's namesake up north at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is far and away the better ride in my opinion. That one actually has airtime while also providing a remarkably smooth ride. But do I recommend riding San Diego's Giant Dipper? If you're in the San Diego area for SeaWorld, it's worth the quick stop since it's pay per ride and this coaster just oozes history. Just don't go in expecting too much. Have you ridden the Giant Dipper? I'd love to hear your thoughts about this classic coaster below. Subscribe for more coaster reviews and thanks for listening.